We got hot fixes coming in hot, and finally a look at the Blizzard integrated damage meters. That's right, we're getting our first look at Blizzard's add-on killer of damage meters. Really excited to see this one. I think it's going to be one of the best things added into the game in quite a while. A few other things of player housing and stuff, so let's just jump straight in, why don't we? First off, October 16th hotfixes are in, and quite a few changes here, including to Remix and Retail right now. So first of all, Season 3 achievements to earn the Triple Threat is now available once again, so if you're a Triple Threader, you'll be able to get that one. Renown track, reputation gains have now been increased greatly. If you're currently behind on your Mana Forged, Omega, Vandals, Renown track, the catch-up mechanics are now increased quite a bit. So I think they mean more than just one little week behind. If you're extremely behind at this point, there's going to be some really good catch-up mechanics in there for you. You're going to get way more renown track experience for every boss kill now, so you'll be able to get caught up quite quickly. For Legion Remix, the Keystone Hero achievement has been re-added, so now you'll be able to get account-wide teleporting, or portals, I should say. Those portals will be given to you if you kill, each one at a level 20. That's right, so each keystone done at a level 20 or higher will give you the portals for your keystones. So that's really cool, porting around, you know, obviously a nice big quality of life change there. Also, a few issue fixes here, just whatever, you know, you're playing the game, there's some issues, those probably have been fixed at this point. Substantial XP bonuses for the first random dungeon you do, and time running dungeons on normal and heroic available through the dungeon finder. So a nice little XP bonus there that wasn't there before, 1 per day. So that's pretty good. Also, the amount of damage taken from Dark Calling casts by Devouring Darkness creatures and High Mountain has been reduced. They also fixed an issue with some Remix armor pieces losing durability. Another issue causing Demon Hunter time runners to be unable to progress. And then finally here we have Infinite Mysterious Portals in Dalaran will now assist Retribution Paladin time runners returning to the Plague Lands for their artifact acquisition questline. So some nice little changes here. And again, I mean, the XP boost is pretty darn nice, and some big time reputation gains for Mana Forged Vandals rep. So that's good as we head into 11.2.7 very soon, just around the corner actually. Early housing access, right? We know housing is coming with 11.2.7, so that's great, but we were supposed to get a testing time. So without even pre-ordering the Midnight expansion, there was supposed to be a little test window for the PTR to open up for player housing. We were supposed to get about 3 to 4 days of testing that anybody who downloaded the PTR realm was going to be able to do. Well, for some reason, the testing day came and went, and the houses never showed up. Something was broken about it. Yeah, it builds real confidence for this whole thing. But it looks like Blizzard... Finally, hello. It looks like Blizzard finally launched it for yesterday and today. So if you haven't gotten in yet and done it, if you haven't tested player housing yet, you can do so by downloading the PTR realm for 11.2.7. Get in and try it. You have just until the end of day today. So going through, testing out some of the stuff, building out a few things, you'll be able to do that. I'm surprised they didn't extend the window because this was actually supposed to go until the 16th, and they didn't actually release it until the 16th. So now we're just getting 1 day of testing, whereas previously we were supposed to have 3. But hey, if you didn't miss the window, if you're not watching this video too late, you still have a chance to get in right now and test out player housing. We'll see how all of that goes for those people. Finally, tracking everything. That's right. So I recently dropped a video about some player housing items and some pretty damn epic player housing items that you can earn right now in the game. These are all items granted to you via achievements and stuff like that, and you can actually run around and get these achievements right now. You won't necessarily get the items yet, but just know that when player housing does go live, those items will be granted to your account. So right now with Legion Remix going on and everything, there's a ton of items you can get from achievements from doing Legion Remix stuff, and there's a ton of items you can get just from doing the retail shit. So somebody in the comments section on that video said, hey man, is there an add-on that can track this shit? And I didn't really have an answer for him. Well, now I do. That's right, the Homebound add-on. If you don't have this add-on already, it's a really cool add-on. It actually not only tracks ones that you've completed and achieved, but it gives you a percentage as well of how close you are to actually getting those achievements done. So a nice little achievement tracker. It'll even show you the housing item that you can get by completing the achievement. A really cool thing. Honestly, something that should probably be in the game. Maybe it will be added into the game, but I think right now Blizzard needs to add in a little image of what you're getting if you hit an achievement from player housing, because right now what player housing essentially is an achievement show-off room. Besides the fact that it could be used as a sex dungeon on Moonguard, it really is just an achievement achievement show-off room. You'll be hanging up stuff on the walls from previous kills and all that stuff. So showing what the achievement will give you for player housing will be a really nice thing. But until Blizzard integrates this thing into the game, maybe 7, 8, 9 years from now, you can use this add-on. And no, this add-on is not going to be taken away with the add-on pruning. Again, the add-on pruning only has to do with boss fight mechanic shit. So this is just a little quality of life thing. Homebound add-on. I don't typically suggest add-ons, but for those of you who really want to track these player housing items, this sounds like a really good one. I have to set up the Coney's PvP room. That's right, yeah, a lot of people will be doing that. PvPers are going to have some really cool stuff in their houses. And finally, guys, a look at the Blizzard damage meters. I'm excited for this one. I was talking about it just yesterday. So yesterday we were in stream doing the Toss My Sal Hadar fight, and you know when you split in the raid, you go from 2 different platforms. If you haven't done that fight in the raid, there's a point where you teleport out to 2 different platforms. The raid essentially splits in half, and the damage meters always get scuffed at that point. Anytime that the raid splits up onto separate platforms, the damage meter can no longer, you know, reasonably track everyone's damage output. So it becomes really hard to determine, well, who's putting out good damage and who isn't. Well, now that should no longer be an issue. With Blizzard's damage meters, we shouldn't have problems with like new classes coming in and their damage not being tracked properly, or splits in fights where the damage just isn't tracked because the damage meter tool isn't doing it right. So looking at this one, we have our first images. Now, right here in the red box, it said this is only a first look at Blizzard's damage meters as it's incomplete at the moment. However, you can see it and still give them feedback. So here we see 2 separate windows. Maybe I can make this a little bit bigger here. 2 separate windows of the damage meters. And they could, evidently you can make up to 3 windows. We can see right here, this one's showing damage done and this one's showing healing done. So we're off to a great start, right? That 2 of the main things that we need to track usually with these things are being shown. It looks like we got priests, and it looks like it's showing the class colors as well, which is something that I definitely like to see. We'll quickly list off all the features here that this thing can currently do. But right now, your data options, in the window itself, you have a couple options. At a baseline, you can create a new window, putting up to 3 windows, which is probably the most I ever need. Usually, I actually only have 2 on mine. Each of these windows can show a different statistic, so that's great. Right now, the statistics we can see are damage done, damage DPS, healing done, and healing HPS. So there you go, your DPS and your damage done overall. I'm obviously probably be able to track separate fights differently, or damage done overall since the raid began or the group began. So good. This is good stuff. We're off to a decent start. Right, they got the foundation down, at least it sounds like. They know why we use these things. Where are the numbers? I agree. So looking at this right now, obviously there's no numbers, no percentages. That's broke. You got to have that. No, 100% JMO. That'll be the first request people put in. And again, this is like the very, very first iteration. I'm sure the numbers are going to be included, and Blizzard has the intention of putting those in. They just haven't done it yet before this first iteration came out. An edit mode. Okay, let's see. Oh, look at that. It's already an option. There you go. So in edit mode, you can see what things we can add in here. So we got style. It looks like you can do default or thin. Numbers. So here it is. You can do minimal, compact, or complete. So I guess it shows how much, you know, it determines how much numbering shit is showing up in each bar. So that's good for you minimalists or people who just want to be able to see everything. Frame, we have width and height. So, little scrolly bars there. So that's nice. This, I would expect like a 1, 2, 3, or 4, but we're actually getting a scrolly bar here. So that's nice. Very customizable. Padding. I'm not sure what padding would entail. Is that like a frame or something? Anyways, there's padding. Transparency, obviously. Okay, that's a good one. You want to be able to see through it or not. I like that. Visibility, always in combat or hidden. So that's really cool, actually. That's an option. I think that is it currently available in the add-ons as they exist? Because I would actually like to see this, where when you're not doing damage, it disappears, because that creates more in-game immersion. You know, I don't like screen clutter. I don't like a lot of shit on my screens. You guys probably know that. You look at my screens when I'm playing right now, and it's very minimalist. It's because I like to get immersed in the game. Believe it or not, I like to see the game that I'm playing. I see a lot of people playing where, I mean, it feels like you're looking through a peephole of fucking UI elements everywhere, and you can barely see the actual game itself. I personally hate that. So I usually go with the minimalist look, where I want to see as much screen real estate as possible of the game. So that's a cool one, letting it disappear. That might be a setting that I haven't actually used in the add-on itself. It's good to see that it'll be available in the in-game version. We have lock scrolling, also available here, and then options to show spec icon / class colors. I love that. So you can, they're not attached to each other. You can have one or the other or both. Lock scroll as well. So this is great. I love it. The lock scroll feature, I'm assuming, is where your actual number, your bar itself locks no matter where you're scrolling. You can always see yourself. So say you're only looking at the top 10, it'll still show you if you're like number 12 or 14 on the list of DPS, you know, which is kind of important for me as a tank. I'm not usually sitting up there in the top 5. So even if that's all I'm showing, I'll still be able to see where I currently stand. He is so pre-watched. There's nothing watched. What are you talking about? Yeah, I do look at these articles ahead of time. I have to talk about them. What's missing? So users of the current damage meters via add-ons will likely notice some things that are missing. Yes, we don't have death logs. Okay, yeah, that's important. You got to know who you got to kick sometimes. People, you know, not doing mechanics. I'd like to know who's dying early. Interrupt tracking, also an important one. Somebody who's not interrupting is probably just parsing their dick off and not contributing to raid properly. Dispel tracking, also important for the same reason for interrupts. Damage taken, not being shown either. Enemy healing done and enemy damage taken. So give that feedback, guys. Blizzard's been really, really good about reacting to feedback. We got to put these in there. These things would be nice to have. I think of these, the most important to me are interrupt and death logs. Especially when leading a raid, I really want to know what the hell's going on with this shit sometimes. It is a way I determine on who's going to get to stay in the raid and who's not at times, so I would love to see these. Oh, and dispel tracking as well. I think dispel tracking is pretty damn important. So I'd like to see all 3 of those at a minimum added. Overall, this is a decent start, right? It's not there yet, but I think this is giving us like the bare, you know, foundation that we need. The raw dog foundation of what we need for a damage meter to actually be put into the game that can replace add-on damage meters. And again, as I said before, this is going to be great because Blizzard has promised us that this thing is going to be able to track everything, right? You get an augmentation evoker class in there, it's not going to break the meters because they're going to know how to track it because they made the game. Also, splitting on platforms is not going to be an issue because it'll be able to track everybody much differently than the add-ons can currently do. So again, excited for this one. Can't wait to see what it all looks like. But yeah, good start. Not bad, not bad. All right, moving on to these final piece of news here. We have trading post items for Midnight. That's right. Have you ever wanted to be a spermatocyte? Yeah, that's right, a spermy boy of plants. Well, it looks like you'll be able to ride on one at least. We're going to get some vines that you'll be able to ride on going forward in Dragonflight. Now, it looks like it's taken on like a mana worm skeleton here. If you remember the little mana worm guy that we got in Shadowlands for pre-ordering the expansion, this is probably sitting on that same skeleton, or like the Algalon mount, where it's going to be, you know, the snake boy. Yeah, so we're going to be able to ride some vines. These are marked for trading posts, so we're getting different colors of these. If you ever wanted, again, to, you know, ride on a vine, and look, there's no saddle here. You're going to be sitting on thorns, so that'll be interesting. But, oh, there is the saddle. My bad. I must have missed it. Okay, so yeah, there you go. A viney boy, different colors coming to the trading post. Which trading post? We don't know, but we know this is a midnight one, so probably something post-February. Anything after February, because I'm assuming the expansion is going to be out in February. So there you go, your first trading post item that we've looked at for the Midnight expansion. And I mean, if you're if you're a lover of gardening tools, if you just want to be a planty boy in the game, there's going to be a ton of gardening looking shit that you'll be able to get in this expansion. Obviously, with the Horonir showing up in this expansion, there's going to be a ton of plant-based items. Where these items are coming from, we're not sure yet, but yeah, very planty looking. Druids, eat your hearts out. You're going to love a lot of this shit. It's going to fit your aesthetic very well. We even got a leaf shield. That's right, yeah, guard yourself with leaves. That's going to be a good one. Some swords, some other things, miscellaneous weapons. So a bunch of Rudy-looking shit. Again, these might be dropping in the dungeon. These might be open-world items from the Horonir zone. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, between this and the trading post, I mean, you can fully plant yourself out. This will be a nice... It's kind of really masculine. Yes, there is a phallic nature, most definitely, to this viney boy. I totally agree with that. And... that is it, boys. That is all in terms of news.